Hey everybody, Kyle Summers here, licensed therapist, amateur joke teller. I'm just a therapist who believes in just the power of laughter as we heal through our struggles and honestly just taking yourself just less seriously. When I was growing up, I just took myself way the hell too seriously. I was just always anxious, always in my head, and just always just a nervous wreck, right? And so I get to college and I'm going through this, and then it dawns on me, oh, well, I could just take some psychology classes, just to figure this shit out, right? Like the most expensive self help program in the history of self help programs. Like literally $100,000 self help program just to figure my shit out, right? Brilliant idea, right? But it was cool. It didn't matter, it's not like I understood anything about compound interest or really what I wanted to do. So yeah, that's cool. And that's really like why most therapists are therapists. Like we're a little fucked up and we just don't understand interest, right? So there we are, like we're in psychology classes and it's just like a veil just pulled from our eyes and we just see the world just so much clearer now, right? But we start doing some dumb shit though, right? We begin diagnosing our friends, right? And that's not a very good idea. Like just imagine being at a barbecue with a random dude and just kind of, looking over his shoulder and being like, if you flip your meat, turn it clockwise, add the seasoning and then the sauce, so much better. Right? Like no one literally wants any unsolicited advice. Just imagine telling the same guy that, you know what, Greg, you're appearing kind of, emotionally detached. And, this is probably from inconsistent emotional support, from your caregivers. And you're beginning to form this narcissistic coding around you as self protection against your insecurities and your deep sense of fear of abandonment, and you might want to look into that. Like, Greg's not inviting you back after that, right? And we don't stay in that stage though, right? We eventually we move on, we get out of school, we graduate, and then the stage of becoming hopelessly depressed hits us because we get into the field and all of a sudden we just see these systemic issues across all of our clients, these shitty parents, their shitty jobs, the kind of things that happen in our society that just cause someone to doubt themselves and they just feel overwhelmed with the magnitude of the issue. We begin to feel a deep sense of doubt of being able to provide any meaningful change, and we all essentially become alcoholics, right? And that stage is it's a fun stage, right? But we get out of that, right? Like eventually we get out of it. We get into our own therapy. We get sober, and so on and so forth. But it's important that you know which stage your therapist that you're seeing is in. Like if Sally is consistently bringing up like happy hour, and you notice that she's showing up gradually later and later to the morning sessions, like she might not be there yet, right? So you might want to just pay attention. It's funny how some people are just in a rush to get through therapy. Like you're getting a damn oil change and you're gonna be in and out in 5 minutes. Like shit just don't work like that, right? But we get it. Therapy is hard. But there'll be times in which I'm working with someone and I'm kind of helping them work to a place to kind of allow for this deeper processing to take place. And all of a sudden they'll just abruptly be like, well, how do I make this go away? Well, I was about to do that thing, and then you you asked me that silly question. So now we kind of have to, we have to kind of go back a little bit, but that's cool. It's fine, right? We get it, right? Like therapy, we are essentially Google Maps, and you're the driver, right? Like you're in your car, you got Google Maps. We'll point out, like, oh, 5 more minutes until you get to your destination, and maybe save you some time. Oh, avoid this accident here. Here's a pit stop. It's a place for you to rest, get something to eat. But if you just ignore the notification, like okay, we ain't gonna be able to do shit. Like how stubborn do you have to be? Google Maps is literally telling you there's a wreck or you need to turn right here, and you're like, nah, I got it. I got this. No, you don't. Listen to Google Map, right? Therapy is one of those things where it's so unbelievable sometimes on how many people will consistently come back having done zero work in between sessions. They'll show up and I'll ask them, so hey, how that conversation with Jennifer go? Or, what happened when you were working on that journal prompt that we had talked about? Or, did you think about that thing that we had talked about last time? And did you want to continue on with that today? And they'll be sitting there like, yeah, I thought about it. And I was like, nah, and didn't do nothing. And it's like, oh, okay, cool, cool, very cool. Like any other helping profession, you just don't really see that, right? Like, you know, imagine going to the dentist if you just stopped brushing your teeth. Like, no one in the world would keep going back to the dentist if they stopped brushing their teeth, right? Like, could you imagine going to the dentist and you just got 3 months worth of food just caked in there? Like, no. Like, I would literally just let my teeth just fall the hell out before I showed up with like 3 months worth of like Oreos just all packed in there, right? Like, no, not doing that. It'd be disgusting. You'd be embarrassed, right? You'd be mortified. Therapy, though, I get it. Change is hard. We get stuck in our own mindsets, right? We get stuck in them. They're comfortable. They're super comfortable. But it's a lot like old clothes that you just got piled away in your closet, and you're thinking, I might need that. No, no, you don't. Unpack that shit. Take it to Goodwill and unpack it there, right? Like Goodwill will literally not refuse or turn anything away. Like in a way, Goodwill is a lot like therapy, right? Like you could go to Goodwill right now and you could donate a knife that you used to stab someone in the chest, right? Like it could still literally have old, dried blood on the blade, and Goodwill be like, yeah, cool, we'll take it, got it. Like a week from then, you're gonna see it on display, for $4.99, right? Like they literally won't turn anything away, and as therapists, we won't either. Like we will literally take all your old shit, and that's what we'll do, right? But if you don't donate it to Goodwill, if you don't donate it, guess what? The only thing left to do is to pass it on to your kids. If they don't want your shit, like your kids do not want your shit. They don't know they don't want your shit. And you're thinking like, oh, this is gonna be a good family heirloom. No, no, it won't. Do not donate your shit to your children. They don't want it. Again, name's Kyle Summers. Y'all have